Welcome back, everyone. The JT Show, Super Talk Mississippi, live from the Neshoba County Fair. We are on Founder Square, having a good day. We really appreciate all the folks coming by to see us, recognizing the great work the Super Talk team does. I really appreciate that. But joining us now, our good friend Mark Prine. He's a retired Army colonel. I had you on back when we were down at the Armed Forces Museum.
Right.
And what a lot of fun that was. What a great facility, what a great staff, great team. Really appreciate being part of that at Memorial Day. That was so cool.
We appreciate it. We know we got you guys scheduled to come down November for the big events that are going on there around Veterans Day, but then also looking forward to having you guys back next year for Memorial Day.
Looking forward to that. All right, so you were just sharing with me off the air before we came on a rather unique and special experience you've personally had here at the Neshoba County Fair in the fairground. Tell us about that.
Right. Oh, we were talking at the cabin the other night. My great niece and great nephew, only time they're here is here in the fair, and I told them, said, well, several years ago I was passing through the area on the way to a conference, and I needed someplace to stay, so I came out to the fairgrounds to spend the night out here. Yeah. Right after they turned the lights and the water on in May, and gates were already closed, so I grabbed my bag and walked in here. And I was the only person on the fairgrounds. You know, here's a place that's got thousands of people roaming around now, and it was just me and several rather questionable-looking raccoons, armadillos, other things roaming around. I told you that was the spookiest place I've ever been in my life. It's just to be out here and there's just me. And they thought they kind of gave me the look like whenever he really slipped off, this time. But yeah, that
is awesome. Well, this is it's such a unique Mississippi event. It's so great, and you see really I think a nice cross section of what Mississippi is all about. It's always, of course, been billed primarily as a political event, but it's a lot more than that. It's a lot of fun, and I don't know that there's another fairgrounds in the country that has this unique cabin configuration, right? So cool.
It really is. I don't think there's anything like this anywhere else in the country. And we were talking, Alex and I were talking about, our street was founded in the mid-'60s by employees of then Abe DeWeese Lumber Company.
Wow.
And now, as I was sitting on the porch and looking around at the other people who've grown up on the street too, there's some of the founders' children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and we had people on our porch, particularly like South Dakota, Mexico, South Carolina, Tennessee, all over the place, who come back here for the 1 week.
Man, that's incredible. I saw a sign on one of the cabins close to the front. There was a political sign promoting a candidate for governor, I believe for Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken.
Would not surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Which is a ways out, but it's such a neat deal. So we've had all the political speeches today. Did you get to catch any of those?
I did. Caught just a few of them, came down, and hate to say probably socialized more during the speeches than I did listen to the speeches, but good time to come and catch up with people from around the street that you don't get to see every day or on a regular basis. So it was a lot of fun.
And because that's where they are. I mean, you see everybody here, especially when the elected leaders at the statewide level in particular, when they're speaking, is a lot of folks are there wanting to hear what they have to say. So,
yes, indeed.
You hear so much about political, not so much candidates, but certainly elected leaders that just tend to keep at arm's length away from their base,
right,
and their constituents, and they get criticized a lot about that. But here in Mississippi, they're on that stage, and their constituents are sitting a few feet away from them, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they're here every year doing that.
Yeah, and you look up, and, it could be just about anybody walking by your cabin or walking up on the porch going, do you know where so-and-so is, or can I get a drink of water, or would you like lunch? Come on in kind of thing. It's a little bit of everybody. So it's great. It really is a great experience. I'm so glad we're back after that break last year.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing that I just got to point out, and I know you experienced it as being a long-time fairgoer, is people are just so dang nice, and they're so courteous, and everybody that comes by, certainly in my experience, if I eat everywhere I've been invited to eat, I just couldn't do it. But I'm so grateful for that. But that's the common courtesy that we extend here. It is our culture here in Mississippi.
It is, and it's always so nice. It's like you're not meeting strangers here. You're meeting just friends you haven't quite known yet.
Yeah.
And by the time the fair's over, you're going to know them well.
Yeah.
So.
But isn't that so cool? I mean, it's like every one of these cabins you're invited to. Nobody says, no, you can't come in. And it's just the opposite. I mean, they are so proud to invite you in, be their guest, take care of you. That's really what it's all. We need more of that in our country.
We do. We really do. It's a unique experience, and I tell people about it, and they go, and you go in July?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know,
in Mississippi.
That's kind of part of it.
Yeah. All right, so give us an update from the Mississippi Armed Forces Museum. Clearly a hidden gem to a great extent and treasure here in the state of Mississippi. Anything new since we've been down there? What's going on?
We have just recently been awarded some additional artifacts, some very large artifacts. So we're looking at about 50 of them coming in over the next probably 6 to 8 months. Everything from a helicopter, some tanks, some artillery pieces, and strange enough, even some stuff from the American Revolutionary War that we're picking up. We found an ambulance that was used in the First World War that was still in perfect condition. And so it's coming over. Some of the items are coming directly in the museum to go on display. Others will be going in for a little restoration work before we bring them back. One of the legendary pieces of equipment, as I saw my friends from the Gulf Coast this morning, a duck, a floating truck. They were used extensively during Camille, and we have been able to locate one that was tied to the Mississippi National Guard. It'll be coming into the collection here really soon. We keep laughing, hoping that we get it to work. We don't want to take it in the water, but we should like to have one that we could drive around.
So how does that come about, Mark? Are there just donors out there that know about the museum, and they call you up, contact you, say, hey, I think this would be a great place to curate that?
In many cases, it's donors that will contact us and say, hey, we've got something we'd like for you to take a look at. You would consider it. Many times we're contacted by VFWs, American Legions, that are decided that they're not going to go in business, so they have a piece of equipment they'd like to donate to us. Macomb just recently did that with us. The Center for Military History that's based in D.C. has a very large warehouse, and they'll go through the stuff and say, hey, these things are available. We have, if you'd like for your museum, come take a look. And we laugh. We went over in January to Anniston Army Depot where they store all that stuff. You've seen the end of the Indiana Jones movie where he's rolling the Ark of the Covenant in the box. It's not in Area 54. It's in Alabama. Literally, just boxes, loads of stuff that they go and say, hey, these are available if you like them. So a lot of people and what we're talking about that is, if you have items at your home that you're not sure about, belong to someone, contact the museum, send us a picture, let us take a look. We can help you figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Howell Grantham's Navy Cross, that's how we actually found out about that one.
And we should also point out that the major purpose of the museum, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it is really to showcase and highlight Mississippi's experience of participation, right?
Exactly, yes. We're working on developing some more things with noted Mississippians, especially now as we're moving out of the global war on terror, that longest conflict we've really been involved in, beginning to collect those artifacts and we can highlight people who've had such a profound impact on global war on terror.
Yeah,
so,
and Mississippi, of course, has lost a lot of its native sons and daughters in war, and we are, of course, forever and eternally grateful for their service. But it's keeping it alive. It just feels
really
like that to a great extent as time progresses, we sort of tend to forget about sacrifices in World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, which was going on when I was growing up, and I've always been fascinated by Vietnam. But to a great extent, what you guys do is keep that history alive we can learn from it.
We help remember people who have kind of fallen out of memory of people. And say, people like Fox Connor and Ira Wellborn, noted Mississippians who shaped the leaders for World War II, but probably, unless you just, happen to have an extreme interest in World War II, you never heard of those two guys. Both of them from Mississippi. Both of them graduated from the military academy in the same class.
Yeah.
So just wonderful things like that. And we're also now, with COVID going on, a lot of people finding things in the attics, in the closets from family members who they didn't know. This was in my grandmother's house. Now it's my mom's. Now I've got it. Not sure what this guy did. So that's what we say. We like to help people kind of remember those family members that maybe they didn't even know.
Do they come to you sometimes, perhaps not knowing about the details of that? Are you able to do the research and figure it out and then inform them?
We are. We're able to help them understand what they have and then show them, say, hey, this is your great-great-uncle. Right off and get a service record. And then when you get that, let us take a look. We'll explain what this was to this. So we really try to help Mississippians understand what their families had done in their service.
That is so cool. And I got to tell you, when I went through it, I'm just blown away, and in particular just blown away about our history in the wars this country's fought. And the other thing that I think just stuck with me was learning the fact that Camp Shelby, during World War II, a training facility extended all the way down to the coast, had land that contiguous all the way down the coast.
Yeah, literally all the way that area. Hundreds of thousands of people. People were talking about at one time Camp Shelby was larger than most of the major cities in the southeast at that time. So
just incredible.
Yeah, we're looking forward to November. We've got the 65th Division is coming back. So. Yeah. We're looking forward to having those guys coming back in. Their history is Camp Shelby in Europe, and then they disbanded, never reconstituted. So we're still looking at about a dozen World War II veterans coming back to where they started from.
That's awesome. We look forward to seeing you again down there. Colonel, appreciate you coming on.
Man, thank you so much. Enjoy yourself at the fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Colonel Mark Prine has been